corruption behavior manufactured, uh, then will not go with the law of the Lord and the law of the land, then you gotta be able to face the tribune. With me today is, of course, my co-host, Mr. Producer, and we're gonna talk about. I talk a little bit, not much, but I want to talk a little bit about what happened in Orlando Saturday night. You know, I think it's ridiculous. Every time something like that, everybody said, "Oh, we checked him out. But we didn't find anything, so we started investigation." This is the FBI. Look what happened. Others, whatever their name is, those foreign names I cannot pronounce it. You know, oh, we investigated and we didn't think it was that important. You know, I understand. Talking bad about I don't want to have the FBI as my enemy. I don't want to have the FBI again. I understand that they have to find somebody that can give them a little more power instead of them. That is not a jurisdiction. Nobody in particular like the and prosecuting the bandits, and the bandits are not the enemies. The bandits are not terrorists. The bandits are just fighting for what they believe in the country. What is the problem? That they doing those things? Then look at that innocent gay people. They because they didn't find necessary to keep investigating. They don't understand why are they doing that.
We have no leadership.
If anybody can come, if anybody can clear the the scene for me, I will appreciate it. And like I said, sometimes they have to follow the law. Sometimes they have to follow the how do they work. They work. They got people that telling them what to do, what they can do, what cannot do. You know. But come on, guys, come on, be realistic. Okay, be realistic.
We need a little more profiling, a lot more profiling, and not have it, it's not politically correct to profile. BS. We're at war with Muslims. Okay, not all Muslims, but we're at war with Muslims. And when the father of this guy, this kid's father that they investigated, was a Taliban supporter.
And he was running for president.
I don't know, but he's an avid supporter of terrorism and the Afghanistans and all this stuff. Okay, and that's the kid's father. And this kid had gone to the Mideast twice in the last couple of years. Now, what's he over there, going to the Disney World of Saudi Arabia or wherever the hell he went? No, he's going over there in the terrorist training camps.
They do have Disney World.
They don't have no Disney World. Are you kidding me? I mean, Jesus Christ! Hey, how can you not let a guy like that?
And
go?
then they didn't take his gun license away.
Yeah,
they didn't take the private eyes private investigator license away. They don't do nothing.
Yeah, and
They
this
let
is
them
the
go.
this is the other thing I want to point. You got this Senator Markey, this idiot from Massachusetts, on the out there, it's spouting off his mouth, NRA and this and that. It's their problem. It's just Well, this guy was a security guard. How the hell did he get to be security guard? Now, if we do away with everybody's guns, guess what? A security guard's still going to have a goddamn gun. So they can't be screaming to take away our guns on this situation. They can't. And here they are spouting off their mouth. Markey's an idiot, okay? He's a complete buffoon. You know who I mean? That Senator Markey? He's a turd knocker. He's an idiot. He's an absolute idiot.
Yeah.
These are the same caliber type people as Pocahontas. Elizabeth Warren. These people are staunch ideologue liberals. And their mantra is take away our guns, take away our guns. You know what? If there was one guy in that nightclub, one guy that had a gun on him that night, probably would have stopped this, or at least saved half the people easily. One guy. What if two guys? What if 40 people had guns in that club that night? Concealed weapons. It would have been over. It would have been over. The minute the first shot came off, that guy was dead. We need to all be packed. That's the answer.
I know, but you know what happened? Let me tell you what happened. In my opinion, and I'm an outsider. I'm not.
What are you running for office? You're running on the outsider ticket?
No. A lot of people are not mentally capable to carry a gun. Okay, the first thing they do, if they go to a discotheque with a gun, they're gonna start pulling the gun out. I told you the story about my friend with 4 guns.
Wow.
4 guns. What the heck you need to show off 4 guns? Why? People are gonna shoot you, not gonna give you a chance to shoot one, much less 4. But that's what happened. People don't know how to handle guns. And that's why this liberals like Hillary Clinton, now they take. I tell you, sometimes I wonder if they create that tragedy just to prove a point about the gun.
I wouldn't doubt it because
I would not doubt.
That's the community organizer way. Is they create a problem, a rebel, and then they can solve a problem. They have to have problems.
They can get their way.
They don't want this country to run smooth and have a nice everything fine, everything going well. That's the last thing they want. Because then they won't get reelected. They have to have turmoil and problems. Look at the Clintons' history. Turmoil follows them. Everywhere they go, there's just devastation that follows them. Dead bodies and everything else. And dead people in Benghazi. And I mean, it's just, nothing works for those people except destruction. It's amazing.
I know.
And then Obama's on the thing spewing from his mouth that we need a change, and then right away the guns, right? The first speech, here he is about the guns.
Yeah.
Is that the kind of country we want to live in?
Hillary too.
Yeah, it's despicable. It's despicable. Every time something happens, and here's a security guard with a gun. How are you going to stop that? So it doesn't apply in this particular situation. What applies is that guy was allowed to be a security guard. Somebody should have paid a little more attention. I know he was born in this country. His father wasn't. And the employees that he worked with, that guy was shooting off his mouth talking about blowing himself up or whatever. Okay, so there's a big red flag there. So somebody should have paid more attention to him. I wonder if they didn't pay more attention to him because of the policy that comes down from our leader about profiling. Anything you say about a Muslim, oh, we can't do that, oh, no. What did we do in the Second World War when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor? We threw a bunch of Japanese in jail. Now, that may have been a little over the top, but you know what? At least pay attention, You're on the air.
Oh, hi. Did you guys move the radio show? Where are you guys located now?
We're on 9th Street, 717 South 9th Street. If you were looking for us on 10th, we're just right behind that old place.
Oh,
on
you guys
9th
moved
Street.
to 9th Street.
Yep, right behind where
Okay.
we were. If you were looking for us on 10th, I don't know what address you were looking for.
Oh, I was gonna stop in, but you guys are at 9th Street now.
Yeah, were you
Yeah,
looking
you
for
can.
10th Street?
I'm on 10th Street.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
we're right
just walk
behind
through
it.
the parking
We're
lot.
right behind it.
Oh, okay, I'll come, 717.
Yep,
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check it out.
okay.
I'll be there in a minute, bye.
Who is it?
I don't know, somebody wants to get on the show and then, tell us all about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But anyways, we got a bad situation in this country where we've had terrible leadership for 7.5 years. The worst we could ever have. The worst. And now we gotta dig our way out of it. And we have to get policies instituted in this country that are gonna come from the top down, that's gonna clear all this stuff up. We're gonna have the right policies. We're gonna start looking at them. We're not gonna allow all these people to come into this country. I'm sorry, we have to pause for a while. This world is at war with terrorists. We have to pause. We can't let more people keep pouring into this country. We can't take care of the people that were born in this country. Trying to figure out who they are and who should be out there shooting weapons off and everything. Look at this perfect example. That guy was born in this country, but he had been indoctrinated. And probably it doesn't help having a president run around the world spewing Muslim thoughts and that. You never seen anything as beautiful as a Muslim sunrise and this and that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to have policies that come down from the top that are right. Hi, how are you? Were you looking for us?
Sam, what's going on?
Oh, well, join the show. What are you going to say? What's happening?
Oh,
We're having a discussion about guns and shootings and all that stuff. I'm sure you know something about that.
you talking about the Orlando thing?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, I have a question.
okay.
How, Obama and Hillary, how come they don't fire the FBI or Homeland Security if the FBI comes on TV and they say that it's Islamic extremists? He said it was the leader of Islam that did this act. Okay,
Well,
I'm not
the
sure.
The leader of Islam took credit for
Right, so they're claiming it, and the
ISIS.
FBI.
ISIS.
And the guy made a 911 call in the middle of the shooting, I guess,
Here's the
and
thing.
blamed it on ISIS, or, gave ISIS credit for it. He was the
Can you
shooter.
give us your name?
Okay, I'm Maggie Moline.
That's Maggie.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember me. I've been here before with the.
Yeah,
Steve.
she's been on my show, been on
Yeah.
Steve's show.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, Maggie. Yeah, I know who you are now.
So here's the thing. The FBI, this is our intelligence agencies. Now, I've been watching a lot of conspiracy documentaries that claim that this is a bunch of bogus stuff and it's not Islam, it's a bunch of staged terror attacks. If that's true, whatever, then the president is the boss and Hillary and those people in the White House, they need to fire Homeland Security. You have to either listen to your intelligence or you fire them. You can't keep them on board and this is our tax dollars. You either listen to the people who are reporting to you that you are employing or you fire them.
Well,
And they're not stating that this is they're not stating that this is an Islam extremist attack. They're not acknowledging
Well,
that.
for 7 years, Obama refused to do that.
Well, yeah, but you can't do
So-
that. These are
No,
his
you
people reporting to him saying this is Islamic extremists. Now maybe it is. I don't know. But the thing is, you can't.
ISIS took credit for it.
Well, if Obama doesn't agree with that, he needs to fire the Homeland
He
Security.
needs to be fired because the policy comes from the top. And I asked, how much of profiling has the guy at the top denied to be done? Oh, you can't profile anybody. That's not politically correct.
That's why I just.
Well,
We
he's
need
the
to look
boss,
at
but
how-
he's
That's why I
how
keep
is he
saying.
told-
That's why I've been saying we need to change the
Well,
law.
he's not
We
doing
just-
anything about it. If it's Islamic extremists, then yes, you need to investigate. You need to do something
Oh,
about it.
he's not going to admit anything. The ISIS is the one that took credit. Obama never gave anybody credit for that. It was an act of terror, but he stopped right there. He
Maybe
didn't
if
want-
the FBI wasn't so tied up investigating with 300 agents Hillary Clinton's despicable acts.
Well, I mean, I have to
You
admit,
know,
I just
why
saw
don't we free up
briefly.
the FBI a little bit, file charges against her, and move on to prevent this terrorism that's going on all over the country?
Yeah,
Why are we wasting our time on her? Convict her, get rid of her.
I don't know. I have to admit though, when I like turn on the TV in this Orlando, first thing I see is someone that has an FBI badge and he's reporting, and people are saying, well, how did he know so quickly that it's the leader of Islam? And he said that he wasn't investigating anyone else because that's who it was or something. And I mean,
Well,
how would they know so quickly and
The
stuff?
guy in
But
the
even-
phone, the 911 call, he called 911, the guy that was doing the shooting.
Okay, well then, even if it is, let's say maybe he's right, maybe it's the leader of Islam, like he says, I mean, this is our intelligence people, our FBI, then the president needs to acknowledge that and do something about it.
That was
You're right, he needs to be fired.
That
Somebody
wasn't-
needs to be fired, either the president or the Homeland Security.
That
But they're
wasn't my
not-
concern. My concern was that they said they followed this guy, they interviewed this guy twice in 2013 and 2014, and they closed the investigation. The same thing they did with the two brothers in Boston. They followed them, they talked to them, they investigate them, they interrogate them, and then they closed the investigation.
Yeah.
Why? But in all fairness to the FBI or to the law enforcement in general, is the law. They didn't have anything concrete, and they closed the investigation.
Yeah.
Their hands are tied. We need to change the law, or we need to give them a little more freedom, so they don't have to waste their time, their useful time, investigating people like Bundy. Then they have not committed no crime.
That's the best point you made today.
People then have not. People, the judges, they need to investigate judges that go to court and commit crime from the bench instead of than getting Steve Jones because he committed crime off the bench. You know, I'm not defending Steve Jones. I'm not defending anybody. I'm just saying that in my little head, it doesn't make any sense to investigate, to concentrate and go after Steve Jones with all they got. Everybody was attacking Steve Jones. He's doing 26 months, and they're still messing around with him. In the meantime, you got two judges that are committing crime from the bench, in his case, and nobody want to do nothing. Nobody want to do nothing. They go after people that they have no problem with. They go after people. It's like I always said about the old days, the FBI and the police go undercover on the mafia, and they knew that they were taking a chance to go undercover. Now, they don't go undercover because they are afraid that if they are uncovered, they are going to die. So what they do, they rely on snitches, then are going to give them the information that's convenient for them.
You mean the FBI going undercover, or who going undercover?
The undercover, the FBI, the police, and anybody with law enforcement, they
Yeah.
go undercover with groups that they think are illegal groups or committing illegal actions. You know, the FBI used to go undercover with the mob.
Yeah.
Well, I think the undercover agents can't rely upon their fellow agents because those fellow agents will leak their names.
Probably,
Payoff.
probably.
They
Look
can't
what
trust
happened with.
anybody.
Look what happened
exactly,
with. Look what happened with Martinez case with the narcotic
Exactly.
people that got killed. You know, they give the
You
they
can't
give the
trust
drug
anybody.
dealers, they give the drug dealers the name of the snitch.
Well,
Right.
yeah, I've been researching actually here this past week a lot about JFK with new information coming out, and it is true. I think there might be a gun to somebody's head in there, and because things are not computing. We have intelligence organizations, and the president and the leaders are not agreeing with them or acknowledging it, and it's like, well, when that happens, somebody needs to be fired. I don't know for sure, which, but generally if you're the boss, you fire, if you're not gonna listen to your intelligence, you fire them.
I think
Why do you have
I
them?
think we need
know?
to, first
Right?
of all,
Or you're saying you think that we need to invest more in, well, yeah, you cannot do a mediocre investigation. You either investigate thoroughly or you don't
Our
investigate.
leader was giving
have
an
to-
interview, I think, to Bill Riley during the Super Bowl one year.
Get all the
And
information.
was saying that this Lois Lerner with the IRS that was accused of all these, clandestine crap that she was doing, investigating Republican organizations, or conservative, and letting the Democrats have a free pass, and Obama said to O'Reilly, there's not a scintilla of evidence, not a shred of evidence, nothing, right? Well, what happened after that? Lois Lerner has to resign. She takes the fifth. She's been completely exposed, and she's off on some beach somewhere drinking a Mai Tai. She's getting her full pension, full everything. This is what we get from a liberal administration. We get devastation. Look what's followed the Clintons around their whole career. Devastation, dead bodies, you name it. Women that have been just downgraded and decimated because they had the audacity to say something about Bill Clinton. It's despicable what's happening to this country. And half of the voters have been dumbed down so much, they just don't get it.
well, I
They
think
just
that
don't
before,
get it.
Well, I don't know. What do you think of Trump getting in office?
I love it.
Well, I'm thinking, he has his own money. In fact, I've been sending emails. I don't know if he listens, but the campaign, I think that he needs to hire his own private security, separate from
Well, he
the
does have,
Secret
but
Service.
he does.
Yeah, because
But
I
he
don't
also
think.
have the Secret Service.
Well, I don't think that he's, based on what we've been researching and seeing, I don't know that he can trust
No. He
I-
probably has his
and-
people watching the Secret
Yeah,
Service.
I would have your
But-
own private,
And then he praises them.
right, but,
try to
well,
keep
but then
them
in
off of
doing
them.
that, you have some protection where you can take action and not put up with, you need to do things accordingly. I mean, this doesn't even make sense. You have to deal with problems,
I think he does have his own security, and it's probably a lot of it.
Feel a little more
And
comfortable.
he's smart enough to know that you gotta watch everybody, and he's got
Because
his people watching.
If Obama or these other people aren't taking action because they're
Right.
afraid, we can't act out of fear or not, but even as citizens, with the terrorism, they want
You
us
had
to
a
understand we
nutcase
can't
on
live
Glenn
in fear.
Beck.
Hey, give me liberty
You
or
had-
give me death, even if I'm the president,
You had some nutcase liberal on Glenn Beck the other day saying that somebody's gonna have to take the bull by the horns if Trump should get elected, and somebody kind of needs to take him out, is what they were saying. And Glenn Beck was kind of like, he wasn't disagreeing with him, and Glenn Beck got fired for a week because of that little situation
I
there.
tell you,
where they were back in the fact that, someone needs to take out Trump if he should accidentally get an office somehow.
I got a
Why
letter
did
from,
they say that?
I
Because they're scared to death of him.
I got
Because
a
you
letter,
want the
I got a letter
establishment.
from a guy today, I'm gonna bring it to you after the show. Unbelievable, the guy said, I was a supporter of Romney, I donated to Romney, but I think Romney destroyed his reputation by
Absolutely.
acting. Ryan, Romney,
Yeah.
and all these Republicans, then instead than accept the fact that Donald Trump is the man that the people want, is the man that the country
An
needs,
outsider.
and outside, instead of them do that, they divide him by acting
Right.
stupid.
Why do we
acting-
want an outsider? Because the insiders blew it.
Right.
For 20 years, 30 years, they destroyed the
But
country.
they don't want a person that they cannot control. They don't want a person that, and that thing, I wish I have a direct line, I was about that to you today, a direct line to Donald Trump, that tell Trump, but what do you call him?
Trumpican. What?
They are telling why did he don't
He
stop
is
that
what he
bullshit with the Teletrump?
Well, there's just too much
Trump.
corruption with the,
No.
everybody's doing.
He will not listen to that teleprompter, but he tried to,
Speech with
Depends
a
on
lot
what the
of facts and
subject
so
matter is
forth.
and everything.
Maybe you do need a little bit of
help,
help
a
there
little bit of
as
help,
far as
a little
because
bit of
the
help,
press is gonna
but
tear What do you say?
But
You made
not-
one little slip here.
Oh, no, I was in court. And I guess they also have
What?
in the court, because the guy was, instead of look at the judge, this is that's the case, the wrong ready case, okay? He got paid a lot of money and he didn't, I don't know if he did research, but my point is, make it miserable 190,000, make $80,000, at least give the people the ration and the humanity of giving what they pay for. What is he, you asked for, you put the price, they didn't even argue, they do.
$1,000 in legal fee appropriation. That's what my case was. Blinking an eye. $600,000 in legal fee? I'm asking, what is this?
What do you mean the OJ?
Your case, yeah, whatever happened, you had the appellate and they
Well,
ruled.
The appellate court ruling, enough talking that they hanged themselves. The show is attacked and cover up for the judge.
So they
But in the affirmation,
cover for each other,
of
don't
course
they?
they do, and that proves my point. That's why they had two choices. They could abide by the law and uphold the law, because I'm not talking about just schmuck theories here. I'm talking about the Constitution of the United States,
Yeah.
where one state cannot control property in another state. That's been since this country's been founded.
Yeah,
So uphold the law.
yeah,
But no, because the judge made a mistake, and in this judge, he not only didn't rule correctly by law,
yeah,
when he didn't get away with that, he broke laws by trying to seize money from another state
yeah,
by signing a fraudulent order that a check was lost.
Yeah.
That wasn't lost.
yeah. We have judges
I mean,
all over
that's
the
a
place.
criminal.
I'm experiencing
That's
the
a
same
criminal.
thing. So what
And this court was trying to cover up for him. What accidentally happened to the appellate court, they came out with this decision in January, the end of January, on April 22nd, the Supreme Court, not knowing what the left
Oh,
hand
I
had
think I
done.
put the date wrong.
You did. The Supreme Court, not knowing what had happened in the appellate court, I guess, left hand don't know what the right hand's doing. The Supreme Court ruled in another case, exactly the same facts, where a district court judge had seized property from California to give to the litigants in Nevada. So they stole mining claims from California. Okay, took legitimate property from California and awarded it in a case in Nevada. So the Supreme Court said, wait a minute, you completely lack jurisdiction to do that. You're completely without jurisdiction to do that. That was the Supreme Court's ruling. So they ruled completely opposite of what the appellate court was trying to
the
rule in
Supreme
my
Court overturned it.
with the
Yeah.
Supreme
Your
Court
case.
over, not my case
Oh.
yet. They'll have to,
Is it in the Supreme Court?
not yet, but it will be. I'm waiting on Judge Gephardt over here to decide if he's gonna break the law or not. If he breaks the law, then I'm gonna file charges against him.
The appellate court judge.
No,
No.
the appellate court.
I'm gonna file charges
The appellate
against
court
Gephardt.
already took Gephardt side,
Well, not Gephardt, Earl's side.
Earl's side.
But in doing so, they completely ruled opposite of what the Supreme Court just did. So all I have to do is go to the Supreme Court and go, what the hell's going on here? And the Supreme Court will rule by law, because they just did. They can't overturn themselves. And they followed the United States Supreme Court ruling, and they followed the Constitution of
Talking
the United
about state,
States.
Nevada Supreme Court.
Nevada Supreme Court ruled correctly. The appellate court ruled incorrectly.
And the lower court.
The lower court.
Well, they didn't rule, you're saying another case similar to yours.
Exact same thing.
Yeah,
but
What
they
it boils down to, where's the property? That's
Well,
what I
hopefully
said.
they'll rule, because my experience too is these Supreme Courts, a lot of times they just don't look at cases.
Well, we'll see what
So
happens, but
hopefully they
there's
will-
gonna be, this is a criminal matter. This judge broke the law.
Yeah.
We have a judge sitting in jail right now by the name of Jones that did a hell of a lot less than what this judge did, what two judges have done.
I think that the judges all over the place are showing incompetency, and I think
And
that
then-
It's
they're
gonna come out,
blocking.
it's
And
gonna
then
come
this,
out.
and
Yeah.
then these politicians.
Well, and they're blocking. Now, what do you think this thing I don't know if that judge is biased or not with Trump, but my question is,
Oh.
Trump asked for a jury. Why isn't he getting one? Why are we even discussing this judge at all? And that's the same problem that I've had. I never got a jury. They're blocking us from getting due process. And what are we gonna do
And
about
if you
these
think
judges that are
this
so incompetent
It's
or
the-
abusing their
it's
power
called-
to
it's
not
called-
give us due
More
process?
than
Where's my
50%.
trial?
Maggie,
Where's my
it's
jury?
ca- It's
You
called,
know?
it's called gameplay. That's all it
Yeah.
is. The guy was or is still of Mexican descent. It's not regardless of where he was born, in Indiana, in Michigan, and anywhere he's a Mexican. He belonged to a Mexican activist organization, a Mexican revolutionary organization like La Raza.
And they
Okay,
support
he
the
belonged to La
Clintons.
Raza. And then this guy is going to listen to Donald Trump, then they want to get rid of all the illegal
He's a
Mexicans.
political activist, this judge.
Well, and it may,
Yeah, he is.
maybe not, but I think
What
a
do you
person.
mean, maybe not what?
He is.
Well, the thing of it is, I think that Trump has the right, any of us has the right to ask one time for another judge, if for whatever reason, something, but the thing is, he asked for a jury. So, whatever
Oh, he
about
did ask
this
for a
judge.
jury now?
Yes, he did, he asked for a jury and he never got one.
This
Why
has
are we
been
talking
going on
about
like
this
Wait,
judge?
years.
when did he ask for
I
it?
read in the articles about this thing. He asked for a jury,
Well,
and it said that he was fighting to see if he could get a jury. Why? Since when does somebody have to fight to get a jury?
Oh,
I
they're
have had
gonna- they're
to.
gonna
6
give-
years I've been fighting to get a
They
jury.
go-
They don't give it to you. The judges are blocking this. This
Well,
judge, he
I
has
got-
his.
See, the
Something
got
is
faith.
wrong.
I got
What's
faith.
wrong
I
is the
got
jury.
faith. I
Why
got-
don't they
hold
let
on.
pro se litigants? Because you might shoot off your mouth and say something they can't answer.
No.
Same thing with a jury. A jury might rule against what the judge is.
No, I got faith that the government will find the jury that will go against Donald Trump. That's all it is.
Yeah,
Oh,
of course.
I
It's
don't
all
know about
fixed.
them.
They're gonna pick the
It's all
jury.
fixed.
They're gonna be in
Well,
there and because
no,
that,
because
they're
Trump's
good on
people-
that. They're
Trump-
good on that.
Trump's people, both the plaintiff and defendant are involved in
If-
choosing the jury, but you're gonna have a lot greater
If
chance
the
at
judge
justice with
is
a jury and
biased
some judge.
against you,
One judge
if
is
the
not,
judge is biased against you, you don't have a prayer.
Yeah.
or if they're paid off, or
It doesn't
whatever.
matter, whatever the reason, if that judge has a hair up his ass about you, you lose. That's it.
That's
They'll
it.
control the jury, the instructions to the jury will be all different, everything's gonna be fixed.
But so far,
And so
he
far
hasn't,
that jury will
but
be
he
fixed.
hasn't even, why did we have to fight to get a jury? He asked for a jury. You're supposed to get a jury
Because
by
of-
due process.
Because the judge is against them.
But that's what I'm saying. These judges are abusing power.
Absolutely,
So
every
just
day.
by definition of the fact that Trump did not get a
Look-
jury shows that there's a problem with the judge.
Let me tell
Right?
you.
Am I right?
But let me
I'm right.
explain something to you guys that you may don't realize. The people who control the courtroom, the person who controls the jury is the prosecutor. Regardless of he is in
Well,
control.
let's see if-
Because look at the Christine Lobato's case. Bill Gebhardt was the prosecutor. He refused to let the jury know that the defendant was not in Las Vegas when the crime was committed. And the judge went along with that. And the defense team went along with that. He refused to give that woman a DNA test,
Did she have
and she's there for 14 years in the prison
Did she
for
have
a
a
crime
public
she
defender?
did not commit.
Did she
Oh,
have
there's
a
lot of
public
that going
defender?
on, yeah.
Huh?
Did she have a public defender?
No, she had those two ladies from San Francisco. They used to work with Tony Serra, and yeah, she got a special public defender. She got
Yeah.
and the two lawyers from San Francisco. They used to work for Tony Serra. They were involved in the Binion case. They came down here to defend her for free, and they got their hands tied. The prosecutor controls the courtroom.
Yeah.
Regardless to what anybody tells me, the prosecutor runs the show in the American system. And tell me not, okay?
Well-
Tell me not to. Because I got proof of my own.
The other thing in that
Well,
Mexican.
I think the judges are
The other
controlling
thing
it
in
also.
Trump's case
The
is,
judges are
the head-
controlled by the
the
prosecutor.
chief plaintiff, the one that actually got the case started, the chief plaintiff in a deposition fell apart, just got destroyed,
What
okay?
case is that?
On Trump's case.
Uh-huh.
And then the plaintiff goes to the judge and says they want to remove this plaintiff from the case. There goes their whole case. All right? The judge doesn't allows them to remove the defendant, the plaintiff, and keeps the case going. Now you talk about prejudice. Jesus Christ, your whole case just fell apart. Your witness has been removed, and this judge keeps it going
And
because he can't
that's a
rule.
That's a word that is in a style now. Everything is prejudiced. Everything is prejudiced. Everybody's
I
prejudiced.
mean, you know,
when
and
it's
to-
against what you
and
want.
what Trump said is not saying he's a Mexican, that's why he's no good as a judge. No, he said maybe he has a propensity to have feelings for the Mexican and the wall, and that he's against me. That's all. That's all he said. I know he's born in Indiana, so what? His parents come from Mexico. Why did our forefathers, when they made our Constitution, they said to be a president of this country, you have to be naturally born in the United States. Because coming from where they came from, they know that they had some commingling of nationalities over there in Europe, and your propensity is always from your home place where you were born. And that's a serious thing to consider. Is a Canadian-born president going to push the button against Canada if we ever get in a stiff with them? Probably
Well,
not, you know? It's something to think about.
I don't know, but I would like to know, what is the reason that this judge has not allowed Trump to get a jury trial?
He's against them, period. There's your
Well,
answer.
what did he state was the answer? Why did he
Is that the
not
same
allow?
Mexican
Oh, I don't
judge?
know, you'd have to.
Apparently.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah, it's been the same
apparently.
all along.
Well, and why isn't he allowing Trump to get a
He's
jury
against
trial?
them.
So we'll see. I think it's still in the court. So we'll
Yeah,
see what
well,
happens.
we'll
But
see.
it'd be interesting to see what he put on the minute order. Like,
Well,
why
sure.
is this not? What's the problem here?
Trump has a lot of intelligent people around him, and he's shown the results of this case as it's been happening over the years to other people. And he claims that all these other very smart people are going, oh, something stinks here. This ain't right. How can you have your chief plaintiff leave the case? And they keep the case going? I mean, it's unheard of.
Oh, the people that were suing Trump.
Yes.
I don't know anything about. I mean, I'm not a part of the university,
Right.
so I don't really know. But just offhand, I
And
can
then what
relate.
if
I'm
Bill
looking
Clinton-
interested in solving problems within the legal system, and I think that everybody who asks for a jury trial right off the bat, you're concerned that it's not fair. Well, we don't even know because we haven't gotten a jury trial. Trump didn't get one.
Well,
I didn't get
just
one.
by the,
They
let me lay this
they
out
don't
to you.
give it to you.
Just by
What's the
being
problem?
the defendant or plaintiff or whatever you are, if you ask for a jury trial, you've just slapped the judge in his face. He's gonna hate you because you asked for a jury, because you don't trust him. So all of a sudden, he's gonna be prejudiced against you because you asked for a jury.
Something, is that what it is? Maybe they have an attitude
Yes,
where they.
of course they have an attitude. They're human beings. They come to work with all the baggage that they bring with them from whatever
And
occurred
they're
the day
just
before.
bringing whatever their judgment is about
Whatever
their case.
it's all them.
Could be,
It's all them.
and they're.
All rise. What
Yeah.
if you don't rise? You know, I mean, so you lose.
Well,
It's as
and
simple
you
as
start
that.
stopping
'Cause they're the
rising up
Almighty.
when they're not
They're the
keeping
God. They're the
Where did
leader.
that come from?
I don't know. Some liberal moron decided to kiss the judge's ass and have everybody rise when he walks in, so his head could get bigger and
They
bigger.
do though. They have the ability to block you from getting a jury trial, which you have
Yeah.
the right to ask for. And they have doing it. They are doing it. They did it. They're
The
doing
other-
it to
the
Trump.
other
They
trick
did it
they
to me. They're
use-
doing it to a lot of people that are in jail. Never got a trial.
In the civil
They're-
case,
it's just-
they lengthen it on out until they get all your money. And then what are you gonna do? You're broke. So in my case, the judge is awarding my money to the loser. How do you do that? You can't take money from me and give it to the people that
My
lost.
case, they just never
the
heard
case.
the case.
Well, it's-
Nothing, no facts.
You're gonna
They
go
never
away.
got it.
Eventually, you're gonna run out of, time, money, whatever it is. You're gonna go broke. That's what they try to do to you. They wear you out
Well, there's just nowhere to go at this point.
because they don't want to do their job.
So, yeah, I mean, so that's
Whether
what,
politically agenderized up or
you know, the
whatever.
message to
Listen to
Trump or
what
whoever
listen to
gets
what
into
our
office,
illustrious
though, we need
leader
to,
Obama said
well,
when Scalia died, right? Is that the right name, Scalia? Anyways, well, we have a situation where the Supreme Court is tied. This is the
Tied?
president of the United States. Tied.
Tied, what do you mean tied?
Because Scalia died. He was like the fifth conservative, right? So now it's 4-4. So
Well,
Obama's
yeah, you have to have an
opinion,
odd number.
he spews his number out. Well, it's tied right now. What do you mean a court's tied? What are you talking about? He's talking about the politics. That's all this guy ever talks about. How can you say a court's tied? Because of politics? A court's supposed to be justice and law. Has nothing to do with your politics, but not according to our leader. That's the problem with the whole system. Everything has been politicized, and these courts are all politicized. Why do we elect judges in this town? What we do is we open up a barn door for corruption, because now the judges have to raise campaign contributions to be able to run for re-election, and what's the easiest source for them to get money from? Oh, how about the lawyers that depend upon you for the rulings? How about that? You think that might be a little corrupt? Jesus Christ, you can't open up a bigger door than that one.
Yeah.
We're so stupid, and we allow that? It's come on the ballot several times before, and us dumb voters, oh, no, we want power to elect it. Yeah, but you don't know what you're electing. You want the power, but you don't do the job. And you allow corruption? Is that what you want? Yeah, oh yeah, I get to say that, Bonaventure or this guy or Hayford is only going to be, I made the choice. Yeah, well, what you do is you opened up the door to corruption. And that's the worst thing you can do. I'd rather elect the wrong judge than somebody that's corrupt.
Well, I've been putting forth bill proposals to Congress suggesting that, first of all of us should be able to have legal counsel, even if you have a civil case, no matter what kind of case it is, because currently we do not. And
Why not?
I don't know, but they have legal aid and, public defenders and stuff for criminal cases, but if you have a civil case or your case is somehow out of the box, you may be out of luck. There's a lot of people that have cases, and every case is equally important, believe it or not. They seem to think that only certain cases are important. Well, every case is important. All human beings are important. Every case is important. Everybody should have legal counsel. You walk into the court, they should be able to help guide you to basic forms, formats, procedures.
So should they be able to make you have legal counsel, or you're going to lose?
Well,
I'm against legal counsel, to tell you the truth, because they're corrupt.
Right.
It's
well,
a
I
good
tried
boy
it both
system.
ways. I tried it both ways.
Let me tell you.
Neither way is going to work.
Let me
Right.
tell you.
They don't. They ignore.
Neither's
They
gonna
literally
work. Let me tell
ignore
you.
you.
Let me
Ignore
tell you.
you if you're by
Yeah.
yourself. They
Let
ignore
me
you.
tell you,
Yeah.
I got a case now that the guy paid the lawyer $10,000 on April of last year for an habeas corpus, right? That I said, right?
Habeas corpus.
Habeas corpus. The time frame is gonna expire at the end of this month, in June.
Okay.
He got 1 year. The stupid lawyer hasn't even finished the habeas corpus. The guy is gonna lose the opportunity to be heard in court because the lawyer took the $10,000 and have done nothing.
But let me tell you what happened with my case. Well, okay, so I was never heard. I never got a trial. Never got to present evidence. Eventually, I had to go back. There were two. I've been in and out of representing myself. Along the way, I've had two lawyers. Now, this last lawyer, I went to arbitration first, and I won every penny back that we paid him. But then I had to take it to court to get that money back, and it was very difficult because the judge was giving me a very hard
Is your
time.
case criminal or civil?
Civil, very
Civil.
hard
So
because
you're
you
not
are
gonna go to prison.
no, but you are on your own and you can't correct this matter. My case was never heard, and eventually it took me like a year. I had to. The judge was very rude too, saying I had to know how to do all these things. She
Who was
not
the judge?
helping. A woman in California.
Oh.
But and finally, I guess after submitting enough things, I got it right, and it looks like we're getting.
Sometimes
but the
you're
thing
more
is-
trouble than you're worth, and then to get rid of you, they'll
Well,
give you a ruling that gets rid of you.
Well, the thing is, you can get your money back for the legal fees, but the case itself still has not been resolved.
Right,
And
it
the
never
initial
will. It's
case,
CBS you're
Yeah,
going
but my
against.
point
Jesus
is,
Christ.
you're not risking your freedom.
No.
You're not risking. You're risking money. You're
Well, this
risking.
is your life. Anybody
Well-
who files cases knows it's taking your life, it's taking
Yeah,
your time.
it's 7
it's
years
taking-
already.
Yeah.
It does, but
you're
you
done.
outside. You drive in a car. You go to a restaurant. You have meals.
Well,
You
guess
know.
what? You can't eat if you don't have money. You're taking your time. You're not getting paid.
But when you're playing with the freedom of a human being,
Yeah, that's.
This
you
is a
know,
human being.
Look
People
at that
are talking
other.
about
Look
it.
at that other guy. The DNA test proved that he was not the one that tried to sexually assault the woman. He's doing 18 to life in prison. The public defender that he got told him, "Don't waste your time when you got no grounds for defense." He filed for the defense himself. And now he's in limbo if they're gonna listen to him or not. In the meantime, he's sitting in prison.
And in the meantime, you need all these people to say that they made a mistake, who will never, they'll go to their grave before they
They
admit
will
they made a
never
mistake.
accept the make
Especially a prosecutor or a
and
DA.
the
Never.
public defender, I put him in last week in the front page. I put the picture of the public defender and everything. And I know the guy. I like the guy. I like the public defender. He's a very nice guy. But to me, he did wrong. Wrong when you deprive somebody to prove they're innocent.
Yeah.
I don't know the guy. The guy is from Florida. I have never crossed one word with him. What should I care, right? No, it's not that way, my friend. It's not that way.
People are
The
paid
guy
to do a job.
deserves the right to be here.
Yeah, it's a violation of our souls. We're all connected. If you don't get justice, neither do I, and that's what's happening. But yeah, and then this other lawyer who didn't show up 4 times on my case, I eventually subbed out, and then I was representing myself. Well, and I filed a motion for extension of time at that time. Ultimately, the appellate court did rule that against me because that initial lawyer failed to
You didn't
respond.
cross the T, yeah.
But they shouldn't have, so
That's
now
your
I go
fault.
back, well, they're blaming on me, but they shouldn't have, because I was there, I showed up and I was filing things, but they blamed it on him, and they never heard the case, they're like, oh, we're not gonna hear it, because your lawyer did this.
Some technicality,
Well, right,
yeah.
well then, you try to do a legal malpractice case, and the lawyer still hasn't
Good luck,
responded,
man.
why? Because he's sick. He didn't respond then because he was sick,
They
he's
know
not
every
responding
trick in the
now.
book.
And it's like, they just don't wanna hear the case, and what do you do, with that? It's. It's
You need a civil tribunal, you need
And I was never
oversight.
after the lawyer
the
to start
entire legal
with. I was after getting the CBS to correct some things they said that were lies, So, I wasn't after the lawyer. I'm trying to get somebody to correct the problem.
Yeah,
It's
I
crazy.
understand, but you're fighting a mountain, and boy, oh boy, it's tough. I've got this judge right now, there's a motion before him from a lawyer to reserve another $75,000 for my truck. Reserve that money in case I appeal or make another motion. So they want to reserve money from me in case I make a motion that they have to answer. They want me to pay them.
That's crazy.
Absolutely crazy. It's sick. And it goes on. It goes on. You raise it, bring it up to the chief judge. This guy, that. They all it's all a good boy network. How are you going to get in the appellate court? You should read my appellate decision. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Well,
They say I didn't make an issue in the trial about something. And because I didn't make a thing at the trial, but what I'm appealing is what happened after the trial. When the judge awarded and dictated that a home be sold in another state, that's what I appealed. I didn't have anything about, I won the trial. I'm the prevailing party. And the judge just dictated that my home be sold to pay the legal fees of the person who lost. Okay?
that doesn't make sense.
And the appellate court says I didn't raise the issue in trial, so I lose. How do I raise an issue in trial that hasn't happened yet? Can you answer me that one? What are you talking about? So they're struggling. You can see they're struggling and struggling and struggling. My original case, the judge had to make a ruling, because his goal was to pay all the attorneys, even the losing ones, okay? So he could not call what my sister did a breach of trust. Because if you call it a breach of trust, it's handled by statute. The legal fees are by statute, and she pays, period, that's it. Well, her lawyer told the judge, she don't have any money, so we gotta do something else, Judge. So the judge struggled and struggled for 11 months before he came out with a ruling on an obvious misappropriation, breach of trust. He called it, she's not competent to be a trustee. So he removed her because she wasn't competent, but he wouldn't call it a breach. Well, that's the one thing the appellate court was forced to get right, because the judge in a later order awarded or deducted from her share of something the fees to reimburse the trust on the misappropriation. So the appellate court saw that order and said because of that order was a misappropriation. That confirmed it. So, okay, now let's go back to the legal fee issue, because if there was a breach, she owes all the legal fees. End of story. So I think they accidentally got it right. But it might take the Supreme Court to point it out to them, because they're fixed for the judge. That's their job. The appellate court is to uphold the law.
And that's another thing that I found ironic. These judges spend years together in the same floor next to each other, and then the other one go to the Supreme Court or to the appellate court. How can they rule against? How will I rule against?
Your associate.
What's your name?
Yeah, you
Clark.
think there's any?
It's your buddy. You go to lunch with
How
them.
can
you know?
how can I rule against
See
Clark?
them in the lunchroom.
How can I rule against Don? How can Don rule against me, even if he loves to rule against
You
me?
have a propensity to not. Simple as that.
As simple as
There
that.
without your
You
impartiality.
know, the lawyers then are in the appellate court should be from out of town.
Now, how does this Judge Gephardt entertain a motion to reserve $75,000? You know what Earl reserved? When
He's telling you
when
to
he did
reserve
his
something.
thing?
What if you don't have that money?
That's nothing. When Earl
No,
did,
the money was
Earl
there.
stole $1.5 million from New Hampshire Bank, stole the money from the bank, so he could pay the lawyers $600,000, right? But when he paid the lawyers $600,000, guess what Earl did? He reserved $400,000 in case I appeal his decision, his illegal, unconstitutional decision. If I appeal it, he's already reserved $400,000 to fight me.
Okay, so what are we going to
It's
do?
ridiculous.
Do we try to push new bills and Congress people to make changes with these laws of these judges? With
I
these
have a
courts, with these
solution.
I don't
prosecutors?
know, but the
Or do
solution
we-
can be taken care of in your show.
Or do we
I
go
gotta shut this off now because
federal
it is,
case or something? We sue them? What do we
it's
do?
5 minutes to 1.
All right.
I wanted to thank everybody for listening. Thank you for telling me that I'm right and everything I said.
Right.
God bless
Great
you.
show.
God bless America. God bless all those people that lost their life in Orlando, Florida yesterday or Saturday just because we don't have anybody taking care of them.
We don't have any leadership.
Don't
None.
have any leadership. That's the word. Thank you. What would I do without my co-host?
Right.
Have a good day.
Where am I?
Yeah. Okay.
When did you guys move over here?
About 6 months ago.
6 months ago?